What's up, guys? It's Juice here. Today we're going to be playing some NBA 2K19. We're going to be playing some My League today. What we're going to do is we're going to backtrack the NBA all the way back to the 1974 and 75 season, and we're going to simulate all the way to the current time. So we're not going to focus big on rebuilding a team. I'm going to pick the Cleveland Cavaliers here, and we're going to go from there. So what we're going to do for the draft class that we pick, right now currently we are in the 74 and 75 season. They do not have a 75 draft class on here for some reason, but I did look it up. There's nobody big, there's nobody, there's no Hall of Famers or anything like that in the 75 season, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But we're going to start in 76. So let's take a look here at our top players. Starting with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, we got Dr. J, Rick Barry, Elvin Hayes, Bob McAdoo, Dave Cohens, George McGinnis, Wes Unseld, John Havlicek, Lou Hudson, Bob Love, Artis Gilmore. I mean, this roster that I'm using is pretty accurate. There's a couple of made-up names here and there, but it's pretty spot on, I would say. And the draft class is okay. We'll look at that here in a minute. There's just a lot of guys on there I don't know. That's the problem. Austin Carr, Cleveland Cavalier. So getting into the draft class, this is our mock draft through Draft Express. A lot of these guys, again, I don't really know a lot of them. I know there's one guy in here. Robert Parrish is in this draft class, which is pretty cool. Mike Dunleavy. This is before Mike Dunleavy Jr. Let's see who else. See if we notice anybody else. Round 2. I mean, there's got to be made-up names on here. There's no way this is every single one in 75. And then here's our squad. The Cavs back then, I don't know if they were great, but they don't look too bad, I don't think. We have Bingo Smith. He's a small forward. Austin Carr, the guy that does the Cleveland Cavaliers commentary to this day. Dick Snyder, that's a good name. And Campy Russell, that's another guy that does announcing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's pretty interesting. So we're getting ready to kick the season off. Just want to let you guys know there are a couple changes as far as the settings. We reset all the previously traded draft picks, so everything's fresh. Whoever the worst team is has the best odds of getting the first pick. Guys, I'm going to simulate through the first year. I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, so we're at the end of our first year. We finished on 43 and 39. The MVP of the 1974-75 season is Bob McAdoo, averaging 33 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 assists. We got Travis Grant as the Rookie of the Year. Randy Denton, 6th Man of the Year. Bob Love, Defensive Player of the Year, averaging 26 points a game with 11 rebounds. And he was the Most Improved Player. Coach of the Year goes to Celtics. Alright, so as expected, the Celtics win the championship. I'm not sure who actually won the championship this year. I want to say it was the Celtics, but NBA champions are your Boston Celtics. So the big name on that last draft was probably Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. So we'll see how that goes. And probably the biggest move for this year was Julius Erving made a move to go to the Miami Heat. And this draft class, the big name on this one is Bernard King. I don't really notice anybody else really. So we're kind of just going to zoom right through this one. We'll see you on the next one. Guys, I just want to throw out there, Cavs fans, 4 and 78. If you thought that we had a bad season this year, winning 19 games, just look at this. We only won 4 games this year. 4 games. 4 games. Anyways, MVP George McGinnis again. Again and again. The Warriors have a good year. So, Nate Archibald, first team. Moses Malone, Rick Barry. That's a pretty solid first team right there. We're just going to skip right through this. So, we get the number 1 pick. I'm going to show you guys here in a second who we take. Alright, guys. So, as you knew, we're going to take Bernard King, small forward, 81 overall. Alright guys, so for the next year, we've got a big legend in this draft class. He's a legend, Larry Bird, and he is projected to come to us if things pan out well. So we're going to simulate to next season. And don't worry, guys, we're skipping through this season fast. But in the end, around the 2019 season, we're going to go through everything and look at the past MVPs and the past NBA champions. So you guys see it here. Larry Bird gets drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 1978. It's the 1979 draft class. This is a pretty big one. This is the biggest one we've had yet. We got Magic Johnson in there, Sidney Moncrief, Vinnie Johnson. Let's see who else I notice. Bill Cartwright, Bill Laimbeer, and that's going to be about it. So we will see you next season. Wow. So right here, the Spurs trade to get Pete Maravich and a first-round pick when they could have got Magic Johnson. And the Jazz are probably going to... Wow. Magic Johnson was not selected first. Sidney Moncrief went first. And then I would think the Bulls would go with Magic Johnson. So let's see. Magic Johnson goes to the Chicago Bulls. Wow. What a change. All right, guys. So we're in the 1980 draft class right now. There's really only one big name, and that's Kevin McHale. So we will see you at next draft. All right, so the big name for this draft, Kevin McHale, is getting drafted by the Toronto Raptors. All right, guys, so we're in the 1981 draft class. This one's okay. The top two are really the only ones that I noticed. Isaiah Thomas, and he's actually projected to go back to the Pistons. Tom Chambers, that's another big one. Mark Aguirre and Larry Nance. Yeah, we'll see you guys at the next draft. All right, guys, so no Pistons for Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas goes to the Houston Rockets. And then Tom Chambers follows up right behind him and goes to the Sacramento Kings. All right, guys, so we're getting into the 1982 draft class. We got Sleepy Floyd, Dominique Wilkins, James Worthy, Terry Cummins, Fat Lever, projected to come to us. Let's see if they've got anything else in here. It looks like that's about it, so we will see you next year, guys. All right, guys, draft time. So first pick goes to Sleepy Floyd, as expected. And then the second pick is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll see who they take right here. So the Bucks end up trading away this pick to get Ralph Simpson and a 2027, 83, I believe it would be, first-round pick. And they give away their first-round pick, and the Celtics are going to draft Terry Cummins. And following up right behind that, the Celtics have James Worthy on their squad. So they get a dynamic duo right there. All right, so now we're in the 1983 draft class. This is a pretty good one. Clyde Drexler, number 1. Byron Scott. We've got Doc Rivers. John Paxson. That's about it. Next season. All right, guys. So the next year, Ricky Hunter goes number 1. I think that's a made-up guy. Not sure. Number 2 is going to be Clyde Drexler goes second to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And third is Ralph Sampson, 7'4". Big guy. All right, guys. This is the draft class we've all been waiting for. Projected number 1 pick, Michael Jordan. Projected to go to the Detroit Pistons, his arch rival. Hakeem Olajuwon projected to go to the Timberwolves alongside with Clyde Drexler, which would kind of bring back the Houston Rockets days. John Stockton's at 4. See if we got anybody else that we recognize here. I'm not seeing it. Otis Thorpe. Jerome Kersey. He's pretty deep in this draft. And that's going to be it. So we'll see where Jordan goes. So instead of Jordan joining a bad team on the Chicago Bulls, this time, what? Never mind. He will not be joining the Golden State Warriors. The second pick belongs to the Pistons. That would have been huge for Golden State to have MJ. They would have had Rick Barry and MJ. And the Pistons take Hakeem Olajuwon. We have the third pick. All right, guys. So with the third pick, I swear this isn't rigged. We had the third pick. Michael Jordan's available. We're taking MJ. He's coming to Cleveland. And also John Stockton ends up going to OKC, which was Seattle at the time. All right, guys, so we're in the 1985 draft class. This is a huge one. This top 4 right here is huge. Patrick Ewing at number 1, Chris Mullin 2, Karl Malone 3, Joe Dumars 4, Brett Gentry, Terry Porter. We've got Charles Oakley. Let's see if there's anyone else. All right, so that's the end of that. We're starting to get into the juice of the drafts. We're starting to get into some more well-known names, so it's getting exciting. So let's get through this season and we'll do the next draft. All right, guys, so you see it. Karl Malone goes first overall to the Indiana Pacers. Next is the San Antonio Spurs. Let's see what they get. They end up picking up Chris Mullin. We're probably going to stay in this one until at least pick 4. Because I didn't see any other big names after that. Pick 3 goes out to the Grizzlies. They pick up Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing was the first overall pick in this draft class. Brett Gentry went number 4. We're going to stay for 5. Let's see. And the 5th pick belongs to the Sixers, and they get Eugene Bennett. That's not a real guy. He's got a big mouth. So this was the guy I was waiting for. Joe Dumars, he did not go until pick 11 to the Orlando Magic. That's pretty crazy. All right, so this next one's kind of iffy a little bit. I don't know who this first guy is. Wilfred Forth, if you know who it is, let me know. Mark Price, Cleveland Cavaliers, 2nd pick. Dennis Rodman's in this one at 4th. Let's see if there's anyone else we know here. Jeff Hornacek. And that's about it. Let's simulate to the next season. The Cavs, we got the 2nd pick. Let's see who we're going to go with here. Let's fast forward to the NBA draft. So I wish this was a better draft class, but it's all right, I guess. So the first pick goes to Mark Price. That's who I wanted. All right, so we got a big decision here. Do we go with I believe it's a made-up player, Wilfred Forth, 85 overall? Or do we stick to our guns and bring back Brad Daughtry, Hall of Famer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, by the way? Let's change it up. Let's go with Wilfred. He's from England, 6'8", 85 overall. I think he'll be great for us. 1987 draft class, we got Scottie Pippen at number 1, Muggsy Bogues at 4. That's a little high, I think, for Muggsy. Mark Jackson, Kenny Smith, Horace Grant. All right, so this year's draft, the number 1 pick is going to be Reggie Lewis. Really not sure who that is. Number 2 belongs to the Bucks. It's going to be Darnell Hayes. I think that's a made-up guy. It always seems like the Bucks are in the top 3 picks. And 3rd overall, Scottie Pippen gets selected by the Brooklyn Nets. And we are the Cavs. We have the 6th pick. We're going to go ahead and pick somebody. We're going to pick up... Who do we get here? Horace Grant or Muggsy? I'm liking Muggsy. Let's do it. Alright, guys. So this next one, 1988 draft class, really not much of anything. We're just going to simulate to the next draft because I don't think you guys really care where Mitch Richmond goes. So we will see you in this same spot, but next year. And as you guys see here... I tried. He's joining OKC. But we cannot forget that 2K is broken. I had the option to sign Michael Jordan right after that, so I guess Jordan is back on the team. All right, we're good. All right, guys, so we're in the next year. This is the upcoming draft class. We got Glenn Rice at number 1, Tim Hardaway, David Robinson. I don't know why David Robinson's in this draft class. It's 89, and he was drafted in 87, if I'm not corrected. Anyways, whatever. We'll just go with it. Sean Kemp at 5th. Any other big ones out here? Nick Anderson, the famous free throw misser. And yeah, we'll go to the next year, see if we can get a good pick. So, again, the Cavs have a really bad year. This is a really bad career for Michael Jordan, and I hate to see it. But the Cavs have the number 1 pick again, and I will show you guys who I pick. All right, so I don't think he was in this draft class, but he's there for 2K. We're going to take David Robinson, the Admiral, at center for us. That's going to be huge. MJ and David Robinson on the same team. Number 2 ends up being Glenn Rice, as expected. He was projected to go number 1, actually. And then number 3 is going to be Florin Pian. And we'll do this last pick. We'll show it. Sean Kemp, I'm going to guess. Oh, it's a trade. So there was a trade, and they picked Ronald Woolridge. All right, this is stupid. All right, so we finally reached our way into the 90s. 90 draft class, we got Gary Payton, Abdul Rauf, Antonio Davis, Derek Coleman. These were just a bunch of role players, it seemed like. D. Brown, Dennis Scott, and that is about it. Tyrone Hill. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next season. All right, so we're here in the 1990 draft. Number 1 pick goes to Gary Payton to the Clippers, as expected. The glove to the Clippers. So the Brooklyn Nets have the number 2 pick. Let's see who they go with. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I think he was a bust. And then the 3rd pick goes to the Jazz, and they go with Antonio Davis. Also, I think that was a bust as well. A lot of busts in this draft. Alright, let's see the next draft class. So, 1992 draft class didn't really have much. They have Mutombo, and he was projected to go like 15th or something like that. So, we're just kind of go to the next season and show you the next upcoming draft class. Alright guys, so we're at the 1992 draft class. This is a big one. Shaquille O'Neal projected to go number 1 to the LA Clippers. Lakers are actually projected to go 2nd, so Shaq could potentially get drafted by the Lakers. Alonzo Mourning at 2nd. Javon Simpson. We've got Larry Johnson Jr. Christian Laettner at 11 for the Nets. Robert Horry. Let's see, anyone else? And that's gonna be about it. So I will see you guys in the next year. Alright, so 1992 draft. Shaq goes to the Detroit Pistons. And then the Utah Jazz have the 2nd pick, and they're going to go with, I would guess, probably Alonzo Mourning. No, they traded away. They get Bradley Whitney, and the Pacers are going to get their pick now. So let's see who they go with. Alonzo Mourning? No, Rudolph Bass is who they go with. And it looks like OKC is probably going to take Alonzo, I would take. What's it going to be? Alonzo Mourning goes to the OKC Thunder. We're going to look at the OKC Thunder here in a second. I believe their team is pretty stacked right now. Alright, so here's OKC. They've got Stockton, Sean Kemp, and then Alonzo Mourning. He's not showing on the team yet, but he will get signed to this team. I was expecting a lot better, but maybe I'm just missing something here. So just for the heck of it, we've gone through a big chunk of the challenge here. Let's just look at the top players right now. The best player in the league is Isaiah Thomas, overall wise. He's 31 years old, and he's a 96 overall. Hakeem is 2nd, 95. Larry Bird, 3rd, 95, 35 years old. MJ is only a 94 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll tell you one thing. This guy's career, and this is not anywhere close to what it was in real life. This is not good. He's got no championships. He's got no MVPs. He's barely even been in any All-NBA first teams. It's embarrassing. David Robinson's right there, 94. These guys are on the same team on the Cavs. Dominique Wilkins, 94. Clyde, 94. Magic Johnson, 93. Magic Johnson has been the new Michael Jordan. He's been winning a lot of MVPs, and I would think he's the new GOAT for this challenge. Patrick Ewing, 92. Yeah. So, it's pretty close to what real life is, except there's been a lot of changes as far as, you know, talent for players. You know, MJ, we would never expect him to go through this. Isaiah Thomas, you know, this is what he could have done, I believe. He was a great player, but he wasn't this good. Hakeem Olajuwon, 95. I think that's just about right. Larry Bird, he's pretty much on the same track. I think he's pulled in a couple MVPs and a couple championships. So, all right. Well, let's get into the next draft class. All right, so we're in the year of 93 draft class. This was the year I was born. So this is the year of the Fab Five, I believe. You got Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway, Ed Hollins, Allen Houston's in here. Where's the rest of the Fab Five? Jamal Mashburn. And that's about it. Maybe those guys didn't declare for the draft at the same time. I'm not sure. But we will get into the draft here. So 93 draft class, the Grizzlies got the first pick. Let's see what they go with. They go with Chris Webber in the first pick. Really not much else in this draft class, but second pick was Sean Bradley, the 7'6" god. This is a big dude. But just to have fun, we're not going to show the draft class because this draft class really isn't that special, but we decided to not sign Michael Jordan back to the team because he's really not that good, honestly, in this 2K for this season. Nobody signed him. He's a free agent. We're not going to sign him. We're just going to see where he goes. But we're already a month into the season, and he still hasn't been signed. So we'll be back, and I will show you guys where he goes. So it's after the All-Star break, and Michael Jordan still hasn't been signed. I don't know if it's because no one can afford him because he's expected to get 44 mil, but no one took him. He's still sitting in here, and he took a whole year off. So he pulled a Le'Veon Bell. He's not getting paid. And hopefully he gets signed next year. Maybe we'll sign him. So, we're the Cavs. We got the third pick this time. I don't think this draft pick's very big. So, let's get into it. We'll just fast forward to who we draft. So, Grant Hill goes number 1. Not a huge surprise there. Number 2 is going to be Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd won a championship with these guys, and he's starting off fresh with the Mavericks. And then third pick, it will be me, and I'm going to choose Donyell Marshall. What? He was on the Cavs, but I didn't know it was that long ago. We're going to take Jalen Rose. So this is 95 draft class. We got Kevin Garnett, number 1, Antonio McDyess, Michael Finley, Jerry Stackhouse. See if there's any other ones. Damon Stoudemire, Brent Barry, Robert Daughtry. All right. We'll see who gets drafted where. All right, so after 1 year of taking off, Michael Jordan has decided to join the Denver Nuggets with Kenny Anderson, Anton Carr, Rudy Fowles, and Jamal Mashburn. I don't know about that decision, MJ. So this 95 draft class, the first pick goes to the Denver Nuggets, and the first pick is Kevin Garnett. So that means Kevin Garnett and Michael Jordan will be teammates. So now this is a big draft as well. We're at the 96 draft class. Allen Iverson projected to go first. Marcus Camby second. Stephon Marbury third. And fourth is Kobe Bryant to the Mavericks. Possibly going to be able to join Jason Kidd. We got Ray Allen, Steve Nash. Let's see, what else? Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Peja Stojakovic, Abdul Rahim. We've got Jermaine O'Neal going 30th. Last pick in the first round. Anton Walker. A lot of good guys in these ones. A lot of good guys in this draft class. So we'll see who goes where. So we ended up with a bad record. We're probably going to get a good pick here. We go down in the draft. We got the 5th pick. So we'll see where everybody goes. This is a big draft class, so we're going to stay tuned for this one. So the first pick will be going to the 76ers. Can it be? Allen Iverson gets drafted by the 76ers. Sticking to the plan. And with the second pick, the Orlando Magic are going to go with Stephon Marbury for their starting shooting guard spot over Kobe Bryant. So, we got the Denver Nuggets coming up next. I believe Jordan is still in the league. But they go with Marcus Camby. I believe that is who the Nuggets did draft. Marcus Camby. But to think that they could have had Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan on the same team is crazy. Steve Nash goes to the Pacers. And now I've got the 5th pick. We all know who I'm going with here. Where's he at? Kobe Bryant. I don't know why he's ranked so low. But we're going with Kobe here. Doesn't matter. And then the Lakers were right up behind me, and they ended up going with Ray Allen. And I believe we're going to stop right here. The Pelicans, they end up going with Homer Simpson. Homer Richard. So let's get over here to the Nuggets. So they could have had Michael Jordan, right? 33 years old, still pretty good. His three-point is really bad for some reason, D-. Kevin Garnett at an 85 and still on the uprise. Nick Anderson. And they could have got Kobe Bryant too. This team could have been crazy. But instead, they ended up taking Marcus Camby. I don't remember if he was a center or a power forward or not, but I guess that is still looking pretty good for them. All right, so we're on to the 97 draft class. It's getting pretty exciting now. We're at Tim Duncan, number 1. Chauncey Billups is projected to go to us. Tracy McGrady. We've got Keith Van Horn. Let's see. Doesn't look like anybody else, really. But that is a powerful start, so we'll show the first 3 picks. We'll see you then. All right, so we're just going through some of the accolades here. Come on, 2K. Really? This guy won Rookie of the Year, doing absolutely nothing. This guy sat at home, did nothing, and ended up winning Rookie of the Year. All right, so first pick goes to the Magic. They end up getting Tim Duncan, and number 2 pick goes to the Pelicans. They end up taking T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. It's a big pickup for them. We have the 4th pick, so we'll stick in and go ahead and pick somebody. 3rd pick goes to the Rockets. Let's see who they get. It's going to be Chauncey Billups. That's who they were projecting to come to us. So let's see who's available. Let's get somebody to the squad. All right, so seeing that there's really not much left, we're going to go with Keith Van Horn on this one. Big Keith. See what he can do. We're now in the 98 draft class. This is a big draft class. A couple of these guys just recently retired, including this year. Actually, one of them is still playing, and that is here Vince Carter, projected to go number 1 overall to the Pelicans. Dirk is projected to go to us at number 2. Paul Pierce, number 3. Mike Bibby at 4. We've got Larry Hughes, Jason Williams. We've got Al Harrington, Rashard Lewis. And that's looking like that's about it for this class. Tyronn Lue. Alright, so this is the 98 draft class, I believe. Number 1 overall is going to be Paul Pierce to the Chicago Bulls. Going at number 2 is the Pelicans. The Pelicans will be picking up Vince Carter. And then 3rd pick, the Boston Celtics will be getting Dirk Nowitzki, which is a pretty cool pickup. Alright guys, we've ran out of time. I didn't know this was going to take this long. I've been recording now for almost 4 hours. So, we're going to make this part 1 of the video. We're going to have part 2. We're going to finish this out. If you guys want to see more, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Guys, subscribe to the channel, please. And go ahead and smack that like button for this video. Part 2 coming at you. Should be up within a couple days or so. We got to edit this video too. And